Welcome RPA champions. I am the RPA champion, and in this video we are going to be doing something very fun. We are going to be web scraping or extracting data from LinkedIn. Now imagine you wanted to extract information of 100 contacts or 200 contacts or maybe 1000 contacts. Now you could do it the old school way, which would be copy and paste, or you could use automation and save countless hours of time if that is something that fancies you. Now we are going to be using Power Automate, which is a Microsoft technology to extract data from LinkedIn. So in this video, you will learn how to use Power Automate and how to web scrape data from the LinkedIn page. Now in today's video, you will also see how to extract data from a Excel sheet, put it inside of a web page, and then extract data from the web page and then put it back inside of an Excel sheet so that you have a place where you can store all of the information that you extract, and also so that you have a place, a starting place that is going to make many different queries. So it's going to have, for example, many different profiles inside of our Excel sheet to which we want to add some information that we're going to find on LinkedIn. Now this is going to be packed with useful features and useful tips and functionalities in Power Automate, and all of this requires zero code and only a master's in physics. Grab yourself a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, whatever fancies you the most, and let's start right away. So I will just quickly go over our process of what we're going to be doing. So let's imagine that we have an Excel sheet with all of this different data. Now I have compiled all different data that I have used another robot to extract. And what I would like to do, or in this process, what we're going to do is we're going to create a robot that is going to extract that is going to go on a specific web page that is going to be on this link right here, and is going to click on the first link that it finds that is going to be from LinkedIn. It's going to open that page, and then it's going to extract some information from the profile of the person and put it inside of this Excel sheet. Now I have different information. I have the name, the role, the company that the person is working for. I'm also using some things that are not relevant for the robot, but just to make sure that the first link that I get on Google results, I'm going to be using in my query, I'm going to be using sitecalinkedin.com. So when I do my Google search, I will search for the name, the company, and then the site LinkedIn. So the first result is going to be from LinkedIn. We can go back to our Power Automate and create the process. So what I have done already, I have created a new process just by going to the homepage of Power Automate, creating a new flow, and by waiting for quite some time for this to open. Now, let's start by opening our Excel sheet. So the first thing that we should do is we should open our Excel sheet and get the data from inside of the Excel sheet. Now, to do that, we should go to the Excel instance, open Launch Excel, open the following document, and let's make sure that the file is correct. This is the correct file. Very good. All right, now that we have set the file, we can check any other options we do not need to set at this time. So what is going to be happening? We're going to be extracting all of the data. We're going to be launching Excel, and we're going to be saving the instance, the Excel instance, as a variable. Now, the next thing that we have to do is we need to read the data from the Excel sheet. So I will not be reading a single value. I will be reading a range of cells. So to do that, I will select the cells that I want to read inside of my table. Now, inside of my table, I don't want to read the entire table. I just want to read this column right here, column F. So to do that, we are going to start at column F. We're going to start at row 1, and we're going to end in column F. And let's see the row that we're going to end. It goes all the way down to 209. So let's end this at row 209. And this information is going to be stored in Excel data variable. Let's save this and it would be a good idea to test our process. But before that, let's also close Excel. Otherwise, we're going to have too many instances of Excel running after we've tested our process a few times, and that is going to cause some memory issues on our computer. So let's run this process very quickly and see if our variables get filled out with information. So we got Excel data, we have all different links that we need to visit. So the first part of our process is already done. We have already extracted all the information that we need, put them inside of a variable, and now what do we need to do? We need to visit that link. We need to navigate, or we need to have a web browser that is going to navigate to that web page. So what we're going to do is we're going to launch Chrome. We're going to launch Chrome in the beginning because we don't want to launch it kind of for every browser. We just want to navigate to different links. So for right now, I'm just going to add the Google link right here. So let's add the Google link right here. And I always like to set my Windows state to maximize so that I can see everything that the robot is doing. So we're going to launch Google Chrome, and after that, we are going to navigate to an element. So let's find the navigate, go to web page, and here we're going to navigate to the result of our Excel sheet. For right now, let's just add Google. After we're going to change it after we add a loop. So let's add a loop. No need to wait for anything else. So what does a loop do? The loop is going to allow us to visit each one of these pages inside of the link. So it is going to go to one page, it's going to go to the next one, and the next one, and the next one, until it finishes all 209 rows inside of this Excel sheet. So the loop is going to allow us to do exactly that. We don't need any kind of loop, we need a for each loop. So with the for each loop, I can just select my variable from the Excel data. That is pretty much it. And this is going to tell the loop to start at row 1 and add at row 209. And it's going to save the current kind of row, or what does it mean? The current row is now I'm working this one, now I'm working on this one, now I'm working on this one, so and so forth and so forth. So the current item is going to be the row which is working at that moment in time. We'll see more about it once we run our process a couple of times. So we need to put this inside of our loop, and now we can already create a process that is going to visit the different pages. Let's see if this works. So I will remove this, and as I said before, I can add the current item, save, and the current item is produced right here from the for each. The for each produces the current item that I can access inside of the loop. Let's run this process and see what happens. So it has opened Google. It is going to one page, it is going to another page, it is going to another page, it's going to another page. So it is cycling through the different elements, and our process is working so far. But what do we have to do still? So the next part of the process is we have to click on each one of these links. So the reason now it will be maybe probably more, you will understand a little bit better why I have decided to add the site inside of my search, because this is going to limit my results in Google to only LinkedIn pages. So when I search for this person with this information and I add site LinkedIn, this is going to only give me results from LinkedIn. And since I know that this person is from Canada, I will limit it even furthermore so that I will be pretty sure that I will be getting the right result. So after that, what we want to do after we have done this search, we want to click on this person or on this profile, and we want to extract the different information that is here. Maybe we want to click on the invite as friend, maybe we want to click on more, maybe we want to extract more information to match that the information that we have is correct, and so forth. Now, in our example, we're just going to extract some information, and we're going to also extract this link of this person. So we're going to click here, and we're going to extract some basic information. All right, let's go back to our Power Automate and continue with our process. Now, what we have to do is we have to click around on this browser a little bit. So there is two ways that we could do that. We could record our screen with the web recorder, or we can add different elements from the web from the actions pane right here under web automation. In my example, I'm going to use the web recorder because I find it to work pretty well, and for most of the occasions it is pretty stable and a good solution. So I'm going to select this. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be clicking on this. So we see here that we have an element that is created. After that, we want to extract maybe this. This is what I would like to extract. I want to extract this second, and I would also like to maybe extract this link right here. Perfect. I think that's pretty much everything I need. I also want this link right here, but we will get to that in a second. So let's click on finish and let's go back to our process. We see that our process has created some steps. We're going to erase the steps that we don't need for the recording. So we don't need the navigate page, but we do need the other steps. Now, the next thing that usually you should do is you should rename the different elements so that it just makes more sense for you when you are using it. So this, we're going to name it first link, and we're going to click on that. So we're going to go to the page, we're going to click on the first link, and then we're going to extract some data from the web page and put it inside of the output data. This is going to be a variable. So we could already start and see what is being extracted and what is our process looking like. So let's run our process and see if this is going to work at all or if it's going to break. So this is the first link from the list. And now the next step that what the process should do is should click on the So clicking on the first link has failed. Now let's solve this problem right away. So let's go back to the web recorder. Let's record against this action. Let's get this action again. Now I have spied this action. Let's finish our recording. As soon as it stops bugging out, spazzing out, let's finish our recording. We go back to Power Automate, and now we are going to be trying to work out the reason why it failed to integrate in our first link. So let's open this example, for example, and let's look at this selector. So let's select the selector. Let's go back to our first link. This is something that will happen quite often. And let's change the selector to this. So as you can see, the selector is slightly different. It has some differences in the selector. So usually what happens is that sometimes the pages have a few, 4 or 5 or 2 or 3 different selectors that you will have to add to your selector just to make sure that it works every time. Probably there is going to be more inside of the different pages. So what does that mean? That means that every time I will be going to, for example, this page, there might be something on top or it might be in a different order. So in order to avoid that, I will just add different selectors and to make sure that it works every single time. Now, once I have added this other selector, I will delete all of the other elements that I don't need. I also don't need this or this, and now I can launch my process again and see if it's going to work. So it is opening Google and it's clicking on the first link. Now it should extract the different information, go to the next link. Seems to be working fine so far. Let's see. Let's pause our process and see if it's extracting the information that it should be extracting. So let's pause our process. Let's go inside of our output data and see that we have the two values that we need, value 1 and value 2. So the first value is the LinkedIn profile, and the second value is the role of the person. Now I want to extract something else as well. Now I want to extract the link of that web page. So to do that, I will extract data from a web page. Okay, so I will actually use get details of the web page, and I will extract the current URL address. Now, I want to save this inside of my Excel sheet. So from my Excel sheet where I have only the Google search, I want to add also right here, I would like to add the LinkedIn profile link of this person. So right now, I believe we don't need to test this. I'm pretty sure that this is going to work. Now, our process works so far. What is the other part of our process that we need to do? We need to add the writing to Excel part. Now, we read from Excel part. Now, let's write to the Excel. So if we go back to our Excel instance and our Excel is already open, we want to write to the same Excel. So let's write to the same Excel, and to do that, it's relatively straightforward. The Excel instance, the value to write. So in my case, I would like the web page property or the link of the current address on a specific cell, and I will call this cell H because, well, or actually right here, cell G, and also the row. Now, I cannot put row 0, well, row 0, no, because row 0 doesn't exist, but I cannot put row 1. Why? Because it will always going to override this cell. Now, what I can do is I could add the first free column or the first free row. However, that is not going to be accurate as well, because that is going to put it all the way down to line 209. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a variable. So just setting a variable right out here, and I'm going to call this just row, for example. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to, well, actually not like this. We're going to name it Excel row, and we're going to set it to 1. Now, right here, we are going to change this, and we're going to put the variable that we have just created, Excel row. And after that, we are also going to increase our variable. So let's search for increase variable. Our increase variable is going to allow us to increment the Excel row, and we're going to increment it by 1. So we're going to write in the following row. So what that is going to do is we're going to write in row 1, then plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, or plus 1 to the 2, or plus 3 to the 1, or whatever that means. I hope you get the message. So this is going to increment our rows every time by 1. Now, with all of this information inserted, there is one final thing that we should do, and that is to close and save our Excel sheet. So let's go back to our Excel sheet, and let's look for the Excel sheet instance. Let's save our Excel. I would suggest to put the save inside of the loop. So maybe in case it crashes at like row 459, you don't lose all of the work of the robot, but you still have 459 kind of saved, and you can start with a new. So don't leave it outside. I'm doing it just to save a little bit of memory and save a little bit of processing power. And what we should also do is we should close our Excel sheet. So this might be a little bit redundant to put them right next to each other. So yeah, it will make more sense to put it right here. So let's save the Excel sheet, save as a new document. We're going to overwrite an existing document. In my case, I will overwrite the file that I'm writing in. So exactly this one. And I will just overwrite this file. Now let's test this. We should be seeing the, once we test it, we should be seeing the different links appear right here. All right, so let's test this process and see if we created successfully an automation that is going to scrape web data from LinkedIn in just a few minutes. Oh, very well. I want you to pay attention to this error. We're going to see how we can automate this very quickly. As I was telling you in the beginning of the video, we are going to be sometimes prompt with this "I'm not a robot" sign. Now, there is a very easy way to solve this. We're just going to run our web recorder. Once the web recorder has launched, we are going to record this checkbox right here. So let's just click here and click on finish. Now, once we go back into our process, let's take this link and let's delete this. And now this should allow us to bypass the security captcha and continue doing searches constantly. Now, here is a few tips or a few notes. Now, when you are doing searches in Google, when you are searching information just by putting the link and then putting the link again and putting the link again, Google sees that as a bot and tries to block your traffic. Now, you're not going to get blocked, you're just going to get a captcha that you need to solve. If you're unable to solve the captcha, or if you're getting some kind of different captcha, I would suggest just typing directly inside of the search and then searching right here with giving a 2 or 3 minutes or seconds of delay between typing and clicking. That should look very authentic or human-like, so you should not be getting this captcha. Now let's run our process again, but just before we do that, let's follow our leading practices and let's rename this div to the checkbox, Google checkbox. Excellent. Now that we have everything nice and clean, let's run the process from beginning and see if it's going to work. So we are going to do our first search. We're going to click on the first profile, extract the link, and put it inside of the Excel sheet. Now something mysteriously has broken inside of our process. All right, so what has happened inside of our process? Once again, we are not on that Google page, so it is going in timeout. It is not finding this and it's giving us an error. Now, for the sake of simplicity, what we're just going to do is we're going to add an exception and we're going to continue this on error. So we're just going to go to the next action. So what we just did right now is we said, all right, in every single process, you're going to check if there is a Google checkbox on every single run. If there isn't no Google checkbox, just go to the next item. If there is, then you're going to do it. So let's run this and see if this time is going to work. Fingers crossed that this is going to be the good time. So this is the first link. Let's see if we're going to visit the link. So it has managed to, it is going a little bit slower because it's doing that extra action. So it has visited the link. Now it should go automatically to the next Google search. And if we get popped up with the checkbox, it should be able to solve it, no problem. Now we are encountering another issue. So let's go back to our Power Automate and let's try to solve it. I think I have just spotted the error that we have. So it is closing the Excel sheet and that is not good. So we're going to close this Excel sheet, or we're going to remove that. We're going to remove that closing Excel sheet and just run our process from the beginning. And this should definitely be the right time that our process works. So here we are. So the process has launched. It is clicking on the first link. It is navigating to the first profile on the Excel sheet. And let's go also open our Excel sheet and see if the data is getting copied in here. So we see that there is a first link. Now we can also see that the process is going. It has finished the second cycle inside of the loop. And let's see if we have a second link. So we have a second link to this profile as well. So let's go back to our process and just see how this is going. It is currently on a third link. So let's see. Here we have third link, and this is going to continue for all of the different links until it finishes for all of the different rows. So it is that simple, ladies and gentlemen. We have created an automation that extracts information from LinkedIn, from an Excel sheet, saves it into an Excel sheet, and saves us loads and loads of time. Now, thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and RTA champions. I want to see you in the next video. So give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.